minutes.
It's cool.
Hey, everybody on YouTube, what is going on? Here we go. We're firing it up for another big, fat edition of Spaced Out Radio. And I'll tell you, the guest we have tonight, Case Parks, this dude is awesome, man. Got a great beard, nice, high and tight. We like that. We enjoy that around here. And, we're going to have a good show with him. I have no idea where we're going. This is one of those guests where we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants and we're going to have a good time. And you guys know out there in SOR land that we do some of our best work when we are doing interviews that way, because I am a professional. That is my journalism degree coming into play right there. Let's give a shout out to everybody we got here. Beautiful Kimberly, thanks for coming on in. There she is, the gorgeous Becky Belling. Always a pleasure to have you here. Hey, Cat Chaser, thank you for coming on in. We love you around here. There, oh my gosh, look who it is. It's Alaska's greatest athlete, Ladybug Bigelow. You are looking stunning tonight, Ladybug. Stunning. Jason McDaniel, how you doing, man? I know you've probably been working a lot lately, but thanks for coming on in. Appreciate seeing you. Hi, gorgeous Renee. The lovely and talented Jessica McCreary is here. Make sure you give her a wave. She is signing autographs over in the corner, so make sure you hit her on up. Brett Lewis is here, which means we can officially start the show. Hey, Worsley, I look forward to a medium rare steak. Thank you so much. Who else do we got here? Baba Yaga, good to have you here, and one day we'll get you initiated into the Third Nipple Crew. That's always good. You have to get a tattoo, though. If you don't have the third nipple, you will have to get the tattoo. Just saying. Hi, gorgeous Steph Dickey. Thanks for coming on in. Hope Florida's treating you well tonight. Nate Rudd is here. Yes, Nate Foot, the king of Hallmark channels, right there, sitting in his recliner, watching Hallmark Christmas shows right now as he listens to this with one headphone in. Good to have you here, Nate. Thanks for coming on in. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, how you doing, brother? How's it going over there? You got your new bar yet? Let me know. We need an update. Princess Denali, the official princess of Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you here. Cable Guy Matt is here. You know what that means, people. You know what that means. You can get your free piece of autographed coaxial cable, courtesy of Cable Guy Matt. Remember, you cannot buy these in stores, but you can get them. I'll even show you. Cable Guy Matt, right there. You can get them when you order your brand new Spaced Out Radio shirt by going to facebook.com/the SOR Vault. So make sure you get your free piece of coaxial cable by ordering a shirt today. Matt's cutting them up right now as we speak. He sent me a picture. Dirty Filth, you were looking filthy tonight. I love you, man. Thank you for coming on in. Who else we got? Oh, the gorgeous Jenny is here. There she is. And the stunning and talented Jules is back as well. Look at that, people. Look at that. Brian Lang, welcome. How you doing, man? Yeah. Oh, Desert Clam. The Desert Clam is here. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of audio noise. That's okay, though. I know what that's all about. The Jim Christie, everyone. The Jim Christie is here. There he is. EM, welcome. How you doing? Yes, I am looking sexy, and so are you. Appreciate that. Richard Elmore, welcome to Spaced Out Radio. How you doing, man? Thank you for joining us. Our chat's here every night. Hey, Nilbog, how you doing? Go 66. Boom. And I think we're caught up. Oh, Eugene Braxton and Stone Hobbit have slipped on in. Look at that. Look at that. Great Lake Sasquatch, too. How you doing there, Case?
I'm doing awesome, man. Doing awesome.
I got to get you to turn your speaker down just a little bit because we are getting a little bit of feedback, but that's all cool. Hey, all the way from Singapore, we have Ibarata is here. Singapore Ibarata. Now, he showed us pictures of where he lives. It is gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. They got the, what do they call that? The Merlion. Merlions there. That's kind of cool. All right. Go live here. Type that in there. All right, guys, we are about 45 seconds away from launching on the radio show. Reverend Keith, amen to you, brother. Thank you for a wonderful show last night. Appreciate you. I really do, brother. And we're going to have a great show. Great way to support what we do. Super Chat is open. If you want to do a little shopping, go to the SOR Vault on Facebook. Got some great shirts there right now. Going to be putting up more pretty soon. Also, hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. And join the Space Travelers Club on our website. It is just $5 a month. We got 15 seconds here, people. Let's have a little shot of water. Zach, how you doing, man? Five seconds, everyone. Thank you for the super chat. Here we go. Let's do this. Mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters, and I welcome each and every one of you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. This dude named Case Parks is our guest tonight. He's got a nice high and tight beard. We really like it. Nice little silver and white in there mixed with the dark. It reminds me of my beard like 3 years ago. You know, just 3 years ago. I'm kind of jealous about it. But Case is a guy who actually really cares about your everyday master, which is yourself. Why? Well, that's his job, that he parlays his knowledge to his YouTube channel, Everyday Masters. In his videos, Case goes over exactly how he practices reconnective healing with hundreds of people around the nation. It's a gateway to remembering how we can all heal ourselves and each other. Case goes into great detail about different experiences he's had personally, from Mandela effect to parallel universes. If you're a person who has those questions, like most of us do, well, Case is here to help. His website, everydaymasters.life. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, we're going to hook up with Vancouver and The Shift. Then we got the SOR Newswire, followed by the Thought of the Day. Case Parks, welcome to Spaced Out Radio for the first time, man. Thank you so much for doing this. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Dave. I've known you for about 15 minutes, and I already love you.
Oh.
We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, we try to. We try to. Now, I'm a pretty serious guy. You know,
yeah,
and
like it.
You know, but every now and again, I may ask a good question. It doesn't happen often, but I may ask a good question. But, you know, I want to introduce my audience to you because, you know, it's always important for us to get a bond with the guests. So let's learn a little bit about you. You know, why did you decide to take your field of study into helping people?
Well, actually, I don't really feel like I chose to do that. It's so funny how this came into my life. I don't remember consciously reaching out and wanting to be a healer. I was just more consumed with this pursuit of truth, and in my pursuit of truth and going down a variety of rabbit holes, I just happened to discover these frequencies and immediately just felt like I had been waiting my whole life for this moment. And yeah, so it was nothing really I was looking for, to be honest with you.
You got your calling.
I found my calling.
Do you remember that moment when it happened?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
Well, I had been doing some research. I think it was around 2007, and I had discovered for the first time the idea of this field, and that our thoughts actually are leaving our body and that we're actually creating our life. And from that moment, I just decided, I just became obsessed with quantum mechanics, started doing all this research on, you know, ancient religions and just basically anything I could find relating to this idea that we're all connected. And I remember one day I was watching a video on Greg Braden, and he was like a 4-hour presentation in France about the divine matrix. And when I got done with that, I was so excited. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't go to sleep. And YouTube, it's like, hey, you like this? Well, you might want to check this out. And the next video was the science of healing, the living matrix. And I didn't really have this burning desire to be a healer, but I just flipped on the video, and within the first 6 minutes, there's this dude, and he's floating his hands over these people, and they're having healings, like real healings, like getting out of wheelchairs type healings. And so I just said, I got to read this guy's book. Like, I knew that somehow he was interacting with this field of consciousness that connects us all, and the byproduct was people were having healings. So I ordered the guy's book, got it. I read about 20 pages of it. I put it down. I held my hands out, and my hands felt like magnets. And I just, at that moment, I had this overwhelming feeling that I had been waiting my whole life for this. And I went down that rabbit hole, and I've never looked back. And my life is absolutely, it turned into a science fiction movie. Absolutely.
That is awesome. Now, before all of this happened, were you a spiritual guy? Were you having weird experiences? Did you contemplate your own life, the way you wanted it to go or not go? There's a lot of different paths that we take in order to get here.
Yeah.
How was yours previous to this awakening for yourself?
I would say that from the time up until I was about 25, I really had very little interest in spirituality. I was pretty much consumed with playing golf, women, or girls, should I say, and just having a good time. And then I think I was 25 when my first career ended, my golfing career ended, and I went to college. And I remember when I went to college, my grandma gave me this book on Edgar Cayce, and it was the first time that I had read a book that stirred up that interest. Like I had never heard of anything like that. And as soon as I read it, I was just, I was hooked. So I would say that actually what I'll say is I wasn't religious. There was a spiritual part, but it really hadn't taken root yet.
Okay, so for you're 25 years old. I mean, honestly, your path sounds a little similar to mine, where I was I'd planned on getting into the Canadian Armed Forces, wanted to be a pilot, never got that opportunity because right during the first Gulf War, or right after it, the Canadian Prime Minister literally shut down spending and cut the defense budget by a huge amount, which held freezing. And then by the time they opened it up, I had pins in my knees after injuring myself on a work job. I was done. There's just no coming back from that. So I literally kicked around, what the heck am I going to do, until I was 23. Tried all sorts of jobs. I lucked out being a hockey instructor for a number of years, and then went to college for journalism at 25, much like you.
Yeah.
Or pardon me, I graduated at 25. So it's a similar path of having that young zest for life or lust for life, and then still trying to find that path rather than saying, I don't want to be a deadbeat my entire life. I know I need to do something. And I did. The one thing I did learn was I knew I was in trouble growing up in my early 20s because I got fired from every laborious job I had. I tried to become an electrician. I sucked at it. I tried to become a carpenter. I sucked at it. This is why to this day I don't own any tools.
Yeah.
If I can't buy it, I am a carpenter's dream, because they could tell me anything, or a plumber's dream, or whatever. But the whole point is, sometimes we need that path in life in order to figure ourselves out. And so at 25, is that when you started reading those books?
25 is just when I entered college, and I just, I read an Edgar Casey book, and he was basically, if you're familiar with Edgar Casey, he would basically put himself in a meditational state, and then he was able to basically, I would say, channel information from the Akashic fields. And the guy had over 14,000 recorded healings that he would, help people with, and he was called the sleeping prophet. And so that just got me interested. But I will say that I grew up in a small town in Ohio called Hamilton, which is about 30 minutes from Dayton. And so when I grew up, this is kind of off subject, but when I grew up, I grew up right around the corner from Dayton Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So I don't really know why I'm bringing up extraterrestrial life, but there was a part of me that even when I was really young, it was just a fact that, there was other intelligent life in the universe because they had the bodies like 30 minutes up. So I'm not sure that's like really spiritual, but I did have those kind of beliefs from basically when I was a child.
Anytime somebody brings up aliens, it means you probably got aliens in your life. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, we could talk about alien stories.
You got some aliens right now? Or?
I have had so many, not necessarily aliens, but I've had so many of these really strange experiences that happen in my life, and including these frequencies that are related to the Pleiadians, that I would be very naive to not see the connection between what I do and other life. Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that later on because we're just warming up right now. Our guest tonight, Case Parks, his website that you definitely want to check out. It's mastereveryday.life.
It's
everydaymaster.life. Thank you. I apologize. I almost had it. I'll get there by the end of the show. Yeah, I had that written down. But anyways, in your own personal life, as you decided to go down this personal path, which is very personal, and it is a spiritual journey, what was the temperature around you regarding the people in your inner circle, your family, your friends, as you started going down this road of woo? A lot of people aren't very accepting of that.
Yeah, surprisingly, the universe had provided me with a group of friends and a partner in life that were on the same page. Apparently, I've been attracting like-minded people for my whole life. And so by the time I actually did discover this, I had whittled out most of the people that weren't on the same page with me. But once I got out of my group of friends, obviously the reception was cold. You know what I mean? Like it was truly amazing because I had so many amazing things happening to me, happening to my partner, happening to my friends. And it seemed like once I got out of that tight group, like nobody cared. Like I could literally show somebody what was happening. I could show them things that were happening to people's bodies that were absolutely undescribable. And if something doesn't fit into your consciousness, you're just not going to be able to get your mind around it. And you're not. If it doesn't fit into your box of beliefs, you are going to go out of your way to prove that it doesn't work. And by the end of this thing, sometime during this talk, I would love to see if we can activate everybody's hands, so everybody should be able to feel this frequency by the end of this.
Okay, so what's the difference between what you do and, say, a Reiki practitioner?
Well, Reiki's a modality that you learn, and they use certain techniques to access a specific spectrum of energy. And so each different energy healing, they have different techniques, and they're all accessing a different spectrum of energy, and they all feel different. Jin Shin, Qigong, Reiki, they all feel a little bit different. But this is different because, well, first of all, the research they've done on it, is absolutely shows that it's the full spectrum. But what I found the most interesting about this is it's instinct. And there's not like these levels of training that you keep going to. Like, really, when you go out and get trained for this, basically we're finding that we're basically getting rid of beliefs that people have that are limiting them. I get the overwhelming feeling like I have spent 1,000 years training for this life, and this is the life that I'm able to do this work. It's so natural. Like, I used to travel with the reconnection team around the world, and we would teach people how to do this work. And what I found amazing is 30% of the people that were there had no idea why they were there. They really didn't. They were just regular people. They were accountants. They were plumbers. They were carpenters. It was always some weird synchronicity that had led them to this training program, and the feeling I got from them was the feeling that I had. It was almost like in Close Encounters, Richard Dreyfuss, when he's just being drawn to the Devil's Tower, and he doesn't understand it, but it's on such a deep level that it takes over his life. And so,
we should pause you right there, because you brought up Devil's Tower, and our audience always wants to know, are you on Team Stump or are you on Team Rock for Devil's Tower?
And you need to be more specific.
Okay. Do you believe it's a tree stump or a giant rock formation?
Oh.
Team Stump or Team Rock? We need to know.
Well, I wouldn't say that Stump isn't the right. I can't even tell you. I could go both ways on that. I really could.
We like to promote Team Stump around here, so I'm just wondering if I'm ending the interview early or not.
You are not.
Okay. Just making sure, my friend. Making sure.
One thing that I know after doing this work for 9 years, and I feel like my consciousness has expanded and expanded and expanded. One thing I do know is that I don't know anything. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's been many things that I believed in my life that later turned out to not be true, and there's many things that I didn't believe that turned out to be true. So I think I'll reserve judgment on this Stump or the Rock.
Well, the audience in our YouTube chat right now is claiming you as Team Stump, so that's a good thing.
That's cool.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Our guest tonight, Case Parks, on Spaced Out Radio, and as we learn about you. As we learn about you in regards to this, you know, as we were talking about the healing and frequency, you know, really what you're saying, if I get this correct, everyday people who are not practicing or maybe not meditating, not finding their inner self, they really don't know the powers that they have.
They are clueless. Absolutely clueless.
Now go into that.
Well, I would say that, you know, I get this feeling that, you know, once I discovered this work and how it changed my life, because you see, the deal is like in 2007, that's when I really started realizing that how we're connected and how we're creating our life. But no matter, you know, there's one thing to believe that we're made of energy. There's one thing to believe that we're all connected. There's one thing to believe that, you know, your thoughts and your emotions are going out and attracting your life. But as I would manifest things, when I would think about something and it would manifest quickly in my life, like it wasn't enough proof for me. Like, I always needed more proof. And so, I mean, I can just think of a few things that you know, I brought into my life. And as soon as I thought about them, and as soon as I manifested them, I would be like, oh, wow, that's coincidence. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I was just constantly searching for this proof that we're all connected and that we are made of energy and that we are creating our life. And for some reason, um, as soon as I started feeling these frequencies, and probably more when I started actually giving my friends and my wife sessions and seeing their response, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind that we are made of energy, we're all connected, and that we're absolutely creating our life.
What kind of peace did you find within yourself that you were passing on to other people now?
I think what's happening is I believe that we all, we're spiritual beings, and we've chosen to come into this planet and have this four-dimensional experience of height, width, depth, and time. And I think at one time when we were originally created, that we were literally a different species. I think that there was never a doubt that we were spiritual beings and we were down here for this experience. And then I think something happened and we became disconnected. And so now we're down here and we're like, man, what's going on? Nothing makes sense. And there's this feeling of wanting, this feeling of this hollow feeling. And somehow these frequencies are reconnecting us with this non-physical aspect of ourselves. And when that happens, you go from you can feel what's right for you. You can feel your truth. We all have this. We all have these feelings. We're all drawn to our life. We have these feelings of excitement. And as soon as we have this feeling of excitement, then this monkey mind, this ego mind kicks in and just starts squashing our dreams. Oh, how's this going to work out for you? You're too old. You don't know the right people. And so what happens for me is the volume of this inner guidance became so loud that it just drowned out this monkey mind talk that was limiting me in my life. And we all have this. We all have this guidance that's coming to us, but it's like we can't tune into it. It's like glitchy. It's like we get this feeling like, oh, this feels right for us, but yet we don't trust it. And so I would say that this trusting this inner guidance went from 40 to 1,000. Like I just completely trust myself. I completely yeah. So I think that's really what's happening when people have sessions. And yeah.
Well, you know what? It's something that you know very well because you see the results. But, as we only got about 30 seconds left, we're probably not going to get a good answer for this, so we'll take this into the next half hour. But something of what you do, it really brings out the critics as well. Whether you're a snake oil salesman, and I'm not saying you are, so please don't take it that way.
But, you know what? I
but,
absolutely
but,
don't care.
No.
One of the things that it's really done for me is I have zero. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Let's take this up when we come back because there's always another side, and we got to discuss that side because I'm curious your opinion on this for people who haven't experienced but are already prejudging. So our guest tonight, Case Parks, on Spaced Out Radio, high frequency healing here on the Big Show. We are going to have an absolute blast tonight. And I'm telling you, his website, everydaymasters.life, you want to check it out. He's got a fantastic beard. That's already a thumbs up in my book. We'll be back on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear. Quick half hour, eh?
Wow. That was quick.
Told you. Gonna be
How's
rough.
my volume?
Pardon me? How's your Your volume's good. Your volume's good. I got you all in control here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Damn it, I missed somebody in our chat room. There it is. I try and what I try and do, I have this like ADD thing where the minute somebody new comes in our chat room, I have to say hello to them.
It's good.
Well,
Keeps them coming back.
Well, you know what it is the one thing that I've learned about doing this show is time. And the greatest gift, like, I never thought I would see myself at 47 years old, especially this good looking at 47, right? Like, I'm a solid 5.3 out of 10, my friend. Never thought I would see that. But anyways, as I've gotten older, and you know, we're just about to celebrate our 6th anniversary on this show next Monday. The one thing that I have learned is, holy cow, people like spending time with me. And it didn't matter if we were only 10 listeners or where we are, the size we are now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where I just would, like, I'm just so thankful that people are willing to give their time to listen to this show. They're willing to hit that subscribe button. They're willing to hit that follow on Facebook. You know, I mean, that is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. If something happened where I died tomorrow, and knock on wood, it's not going to happen. But if I died tomorrow, I could die happy because, you know, all of these wonderful people that are in our chat room, like, right now, and everybody who's viewing, and the people on the radio side who will listen tomorrow, you know, them taking time out of their day to spend 3 hours with you, or an hour with you, or even half an hour or 10 minutes, that is huge in a person's life. Most people don't do things for 3 hours.
No, they don't.
You know, and it's a beautiful thing. And so, you know, I'm always amazed. Always amazed. So my little thing here is, it's almost like I have to say, you know, thank you to them, and
Well, no, you're awesome, man. I can feel your vibe, and I'm sure you have a great following.
Oh, they're good people. They're pretty good people. You know, so I mean, some of them are okay. I mean, you worry about a few of them, like Nicole and, you know, Sandra and Jules and Ron and Brett. You worry about them. No, I'm teasing. But just keeps you going, man. It's a rush. And I'm very open. The other thing too is I'm very open about my depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing, and this is the selfish part of this show. The selfish part is every night I get to end on a high.
Nice.
Which keeps my depression.
Yeah.
Like, some days it beats me, but not as much as it used to. You know, because I have them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really cool.
What are you depressed about, man?
Pardon me?
What are you depressed about?
Oh, long story, dude. Long story.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the anxiety, depression, I was going back, what year are we here? 2020. So going back to 2005, I almost committed suicide. In 2014, I woke up one morning, and I never want to have that feeling again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And I remember calling up my doctor and saying to the receptionist, just as calm as I'm talking to you, and I said to her point blank, I said, if I don't see my doctor this morning, I will jump off the bridge going to work. And do you really want that on your head?
Wow.
And so she goes, oh, okay. So she goes, can you be here in 10 minutes? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. And I went into the office, and my doctor says, congratulations. I said, why? He goes, because the first part of defeating it is talking about it. So that's why, like with this show, I always talk about it. Give me 2 seconds. We only got 8 seconds left. Cat Chaser, thank you so much for the super chat. We're going to get going in 5 seconds here. Here we go, everyone. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. I really do appreciate it. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, do me a favor. Check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with our guest, Case Parks. His website, everydaymasters.life, where he could teach you the frequencies, teach you how to heal yourself, and how to be a better person and heal others as well. Good dude here, solid dude. I'm actually quite enjoying this one tonight. I hope you are as well. Case, welcome back.
Good to be back, man.
All right, let's get through the serious stuff here just for a second.
Let's do it.
Because in somebody in your position, and I know this all too well right now, too well, you know, there are people out there who will say that everything that people like you do, you're snake oil salespeople, you're taking advantage of the weak, you're taking advantage of the misguided. You've heard all the adjectives and sentences, man. You know, so I'm curious, how do you defend yourself in regards to those type of comments from people who most likely are even refusing to see what you do for them, or maybe they have tried it, it didn't work for them and thought it was a waste of money, and people, if it didn't work for me, it's not working for anybody else.
Yeah. I've actually been pretty blessed with that. Well, I really get the feeling like if you're not really resonating with what I'm talking about, then you're really, I don't really force what I do on anyone, if you ever went to my YouTube channel and you just went through the comments, I don't know. I guess I just don't attract people that think I'm a lunatic, and that's kind of cool. I do know that there are, I would say that probably 95% of the people probably think what I do is absolute lunacy, that I'm absolutely crazy. But I really don't care. I'm more focused on the 5% of the people that are drawn to it. Because really what I talk about, and it's as out there as you can ever get. And so I just and I don't really tell everybody what I do. Like we just recently moved to Fort Collins, and I've had 3 poker games with the local guys, and played golf with them a couple times, and they're like, hey, okay, dude, what do you do for a living? I'm like, dude, you're not ready. I would rather you just know me as a person, and if you'll somehow stumble on what I do if it's right for you. I absolutely don't try to push anything on anybody. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I really just don't care, to be honest with you, because if you saw what I see, it changes you. You just know that what is happening it's out of this world. And when you know that, I just don't really care. I really don't. To be honest with you, when this first happened, I was really reaching out to everybody. I was just trying to say, hey man, you're not going to believe what's going on with me. And I'd go on Facebook and I'd make like this really long post, and nobody gave a crap, man. Nobody. I get like 2 thumbs up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is so big. Like, this is otherworldly. How is this even happening? And nobody cares. And so it was really frustrating for probably the first four years that I did this. That only my tight friends really cared about it. And then one day, me and my family, we had moved down to Mexico. We were living in the Yucatan in Mexico for 3.5 years. And one day I just woke up, and in my belief system, I just happen to believe that the way our reality works is that we are constantly shifting through parallel realities 1 billion times a second. We're completely unaware of these shifts because, you know, our senses, you know, like our eyes, you know, they're only picking up about 60 frames a second. So I just had this belief that we're constantly shifting through these parallel realities. And, you know, one of the, you know, one of the people that I kind of listened to, or actually several of them, had been saying that, you know, there will be a time when we become conscious of two different realities at the same time. And what does that mean? I don't know what the hell that means, but I was like, does it really matter if I believe we're shifting through? Like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden, I had been blowing it off, this Mandela effect thing and this Mandela effect thing. And then one day I finally just hit the button. And within about an hour, I became aware that I have just so many memories that are not a part of this reality. And I was so excited, I couldn't even stand it. And because it was like I had been waiting for it, but I didn't exactly know what I was waiting for. And when I started going through the comments, I started noticing everybody was just freaking out. And they were just talking about Satan and talking about just all this crap. And here I am in this bliss state, feeling like this is part of this awakening, that we're starting to wake up and become conscious of multiple realities at the same time. And everybody else is losing it. And just one day I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm going to make a video. And which is really out of character because I'm not a fan of being in front of the camera. I'm not a fan of my voice. So for me to make that video, I really had to step through some fears. And basically in the first video, I was flat out talking about the craziest things ever, just talking about, you know, how these frequencies are reconnecting our DNA and how that's affecting us, and that, you know, there's this Pleiadian connection. So really, when I hit that upload button, dude, I was really putting myself out there. And that first video ended up getting like 250,000 hits. And I realized, wow, people are interested in this. There are people that resonate with what I'm saying. And so that really, I found my platform, and that is YouTube, and it's certainly in Facebook. I still don't go on Facebook just because, I don't know, doesn't seem like the platform to talk about the kind of stuff that I talk about, you know.
Well, you know what? I'm going to hold this up to the camera because even though we're on the radio side of everything, the public doesn't know that you and I are actually looking at each other on Skype while we do this. But if you look right there, I'm holding up a Ford key.
Yes.
Okay. And it's an old truck key. And it does, this key, as I just drop it on the floor now, does not have the loop on it.
Yes. Yes. Nice.
And I had a listener send that to me because I'm not a big Mandela effect kind of guy. Okay.
But you get the Ford one, right?
The Ford one is very weird.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had several, and you know, like probably one of my biggest was the John F. Kennedy assassination. You know, I used to be very deep into conspiracy theories, and I've wasted hours upon hours upon hours going down various rabbit holes. And dude, I know that in my reality, that John F. Kennedy was in a 4-seater, a black Lincoln with suicide doors convertible. And I don't care who on the planet I don't care what anybody says. In my reality, there was 4 people in that car. Fact. And what I find really ironic, in fact, this was really why I made my first video, was everybody was freaking out and they were like, hey man, like nobody believes me. Nobody believes what I believe. So, you know, I'm down in the Yucatan. So over the course of about 2 months, I end up speaking with all of my close friends on the phone. And during those conversations, I started bringing up some of these alternative memories. And every single one of my friends had the same memories as me. And I'm thinking, like, what are the odds of that? Like, how come everybody else feels alone? How come everybody else, like, their partners, their friends, everybody thinks they're crazy, and then every single person that I'm talking to shares the same memory? And then I was like, wait a second, I've actually reconnected all of the people that I'm speaking to. And so I didn't even really know what that meant, but there was a coincidence there that at least stirred the idea to make a video that it was very peculiar. So yeah, and that goes back to another thing. I think that maybe 10 years ago, if I would have had a memory of something that is not in this reality, I would have immediately said, "Oh, my memory is shitty. Like my memory's bad." I would not have trusted myself. But I really, like, dude, there's 4 people in John F. Kennedy's car when he got killed. I mean, there's no, in my reality, that's what it was.
See, where I have a tough time, and I hate to be the woo breaker, is anything to do with spelling. Okay, people are terrible spellers. It doesn't matter if you are a linguist or not. People are terrible spellers.
Yeah.
Like, give you an example. I always thought Mandela was spelt with 2 L's, and it's only spelled with 1. Now, a lot of people will be like, "Ooh, Mandela effect," and I'm like, "No, I probably just spelled it wrong." Or the Berenstain versus Berenstein Bears, or Fruit Loops with 2 O's, or the actual spelling of fruit. But the one that stands out for me the most is Sinbad.
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember Sinbad being, or the Shazam one, where I remember Sinbad being on that late 80s, early 90s sitcom, and I never thought he was funny. There's certain people who are not funny in this world. Okay, Sinbad's not funny. Ray Romano's not funny. Whoopi Goldberg is not funny. Bob Saget is not funny. And the point that I'm getting at is, I remember saying to my friends and I talking, that we couldn't stand that show so much that there is no way we were going to go spend money on that movie.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And then to find out that it's never existed.
Yeah, exactly. It only takes one. It only takes one. And let's go back to the spelling, because I suck at spelling. I mean, I really. And my mom was an English teacher, and she always used to say, "I just don't understand where you got your spelling ability from." But so for spelling, now this is something that, like, do you remember how to spell dilemma?
Dilemma.
Dilemma. So for me, it was the MNA. Now, MNA makes absolutely no sense in the world. Who would, even if you're a bad speller, who would possibly spell dilemma Dilemma? But yet, there are just, I don't know how many thousands, 10,000, 100,000, that remember spelling dilemma MNA. Like, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't. But I'm totally on board with that Sinbad thing. That's not a big one for me, but for my wife, absolutely. She was like, "Oh no, that dude was in a terrible movie called Shazam," and yeah.
Like,
I actually go ahead.
I always wondered why that couldn't happen to Pauly Shore movies, because those are just terrible.
Yeah, not the best. Yeah. I actually had something similar to that. I had a girlfriend, and she absolutely loved a show called Sex in the City. And I absolutely cannot stand Sarah Jessica Parker. I just really don't like her. And so every time she would turn it on, I would just leave. And that Sex in the City was burned into my brain. And so, needless to say, when I found out that Sex in the City never existed, I was just, it was just, I just know that that nasty show used to be called Sex in the City.
But couldn't it be, okay, Google, take for instance now that we're 20 years into the internet age.
Uh-huh.
Okay, could it not be for a lot of these spelling errors that Google corrects us? So if you type something wrong, okay, it will still automatically know what you're trying to get at and bring
Yeah.
it up anyway. So couldn't it be as simple as that?
Well, I mean, no, not. I mean, yeah, for a lot of things, for a lot of things. But I think these are really personal things. Like for you, it's very personal. The Shazam, because you really didn't like him. You were invested in not digging him. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And so you're really blown away that that movie didn't exist. And yeah, so for me, I just have very specific ones. Like for me, when I was a child, I ate more Captain Crunch cereal than anybody on the planet. I mean, that's what I ate, Captain Crunch. And I remember I was down in Mexico and I saw Cap'n Crunch, CAP-N. And I was like, Cap'n, wow, they must have rebranded this. You know what I mean? Like because I remember Captain. And then come to find out that, Captain Crunch never existed. When, I would damn near bet everything I owned that in my reality, it was Captain Crunch. It's funny that we're talking about this. I haven't really thought about this stuff in a long time.
Yeah, I don't recall C3PO having a silver leg.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, that's an easy one to miss. Because you're not looking at the leg.
Well, it would be easier. It depends. Because if you ever look at the old C3PO toys, when you see the silver leg, there is no denying that looks off. I mean, it looks, because once it's in plastic and there's not like, camera lights, kind of blending the knee, it looks way out of place.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Do you believe then that there was some sort of shift in the timeline somewhere along the lines that if the Mandela effect is real and not just, some sort of lifelong pareidolia, okay, what do you think happened to change it?
Dude, I think we're constantly shifting through parallel realities. I think that's how our reality works. I feel like, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm kind of used to having people think that I'm crazy. But I literally believe that we're recreating, like the non-physical aspect of us, this higher self, this oversoul aspect of us. This is a simulation, and we're recreating our bodies and our world a billion times a second. And the only reason it doesn't feel like we're shifting is because we keep carrying our baggage with us. We keep carrying these memories that makes it look like we're just linear. Because, you can look at people, you can find people all over the world, there's somebody today went into the hospital with 25 golf ball sized tumors, and tomorrow they won't have any of them. They'll be gone. They'll be healed. Now, what happened there? Did God come and heal them? What happened? Something happened, So, it's really, it's funny to believe so strong in something that you just can't prove to anybody, I don't know. I guess that covers a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's still the idea that there's some people out there who believe that there was, say, the Mayan calendar. Life was allegedly supposed to end, even though the Mayans, for some reason, weren't using the Gregorian calendar when it happened, or scholars weren't. And, you know, I look at that and a lot of people say, well, maybe that was this shift to a new timeline.
It could be because, you know, the Mayans never said that December 21st, 2012 was the end of the world. It was the end of time. And so you know, and you know, time, the experience of time is very subjective. But I will say, you know, it could be just because I'm getting older, it could be because I'm 54 years old, but it feels like time is becoming much more slippier. And I think there was a shift. I think something did happen. I think we're individually shifting, but I think that there was a major shift that did happen in December 21st, 2012. But I will tell you that December 22nd, 2012, I was a little bummed out. I was a little let down because I really felt like what had happened to me in 2012, because I feel like what happened to me, I became a completely different person. And my ability to understand things, to comprehend things, my compassion for others, my feeling of connection with others, with nature, with everything, had magnified to such a level that I really felt like something was going to happen to everybody like that. And then when it didn't, I was definitely like, wow, so it's just another day and the world hasn't changed. So I will say that I was definitely let down with that. But in retrospect, 2012 was absolutely a year of absolute transformation for me. So, you know, I you know.
Do you think then that, you know, somewhere in the secrets of life, in the book that contains all of the world's secrets, that maybe there is, like as you say, these parallel universes, as we got about 45 seconds to go, these parallel universes running simultaneously, and sometimes they intertwine?
I think that we're living in a multiverse and that every possibility exists. And I think that what you believe, what your emotions. So I think we're constantly being pulled to the future reality that matches our current state of being.
In effect, though, it's who we are.
It's who we are. It's who we are.
Well, let's go into that, because I know G Girl in our chat room has a question, because a lot of this also deals with different timelines, portals, dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is a reason why so many people just vanish, never to be heard from again. Let's talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess where we know where we're going for hour number 2 here on Spaced Out Radio. Our guest tonight, Case Parks. And I'll tell you, this is a great conversation. This is a great conversation we are having tonight. And, you know, his website, everydaymasters.life. And we're going to be back talking about everything from portals, dimensions, to high-frequency healings. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Be right back, guys.
Paranormal Talk Radio. You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and we have some cool swag for you to pick up. All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky.
All right, we're back. Yeah.
Did you get your dogs taken care of?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many?
I have 2.
Nice.
Yeah, two big oafs that are older and, they're on their schedule now.
Yeah. I got 2 old ones and 1 young one.
We had 3 up until last year. We lost 1 last year.
Oh.
Yeah. But she died happy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She totally went Mama Cass.
Uh-huh.
And she was a little Chihuahua dachshund, and she I think she had a heart attack while she was eating a wiener.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one to go.
Oh, yeah. She couldn't have gone believe it or not, as sad as it is. Like, I tried giving her mouth to mouth. I had my fingers down there digging everything out and everything, but couldn't do.
Oh, man, when you lose a dog that's been with you for a long time, that takes a long time, man.
Yeah, it did. The funny part about it was that first night, because she always slept on our bed, and that first night that she was gone, I actually felt her on my legs, and I asked her to move over, and I felt her actually get up off the bed, kind of move over, right?
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'm curious, because you really don't you spend you're kind of focused on like aliens, extraterrestrial life, things like that.
Yeah.
always amazed that people that believe in. I mean, don't you really have to be like spiritual to believe?
Oh, I did.
Like,
I am.
okay, yeah, I figured they kind of ran together. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm very spiritual. I don't press my I've told my audience like I have a big belief in God. I don't go to church. I've been able to in my own personal life separate religion from my spirituality. I don't press that on anybody.
yeah,
But the one thing that I have learned is if you take the time to hug a tree, the tree will hug you back.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've never been a tree hugger. 5 seconds. Hold on here.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. My name is Dave Scott. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. I'm going to butcher this one. I can already tell. Cathenotheism. No, that's it. Cathenotheism. I think that's it. Whatever it is, the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we continue our great chat with Case Parks, his website, everydaymasters.life, where he has a bunch of videos on there kind of showing you the ins and outs of how to improve yourself, your life, the people around you, your inner soul, everything. Find your Zen and Chi with this man. He'll even teach you how to cut a nice beard if you're a guy, because looking at his is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Case, welcome back.
Good to be back, man.
All right. Portals. Dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this gets back to G-Girl's question, and in hour 2 we kind of include questions from people in our chat rooms. And if you ever want to join our chat room, the easiest one is to go to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and join us. And the big thing is there's a lot of people who go missing every year.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States alone, there are approximately 1.3 million people who go missing every year. And by the time the FBI whittles that down, there's about 65,000 people that are unaccounted for annually. That's a lot of people. That's a football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to you is, and the more I've got into David Paulides and the missing 411 and other people who have had strange occurrences, I really truly believe that a lot of these people have walked into a different dimension, and they, on their new timeline, everything is the same, but on our timeline, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
What is your opinion of this?
Oh, I would have to agree with you. Absolutely. I mean, I would. That's absolutely. I have no doubt that there's portals around this world, and that makes perfect sense with my belief system.
So what do you think is happening with these people? You know, like we see a lot of instances of, young men going missing. They're all in that 20, that 19 to 28, 30-year-old category where they go out on the town, maybe to have a beer with the boys, to watch the baseball game, the football game, or the hockey game, or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, I mean, us men, let's face it, not to sound grotesque, we'll take a pee anywhere.
Yeah.
How I think we've all done it. Hold on, boys, I'm just going to run behind the garbage can over here. And all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
And their friends are 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah.
And there's no sound. There's no signs of struggle. There's no signs of another person being around, or a stalker, or whatever hiding in the shadows. There's nothing, just a garbage can. And yet this person is now gone. Now, the easy answer to that is aliens, because when in doubt, aliens. But I honestly believe that there's something more to this whole portal action.
I would agree. Yeah, I think that our reality that we're perceiving is such a thin sliver of the multidimensional reality that's actually taking place, and to slide to another reality, where and basically when you said that's really like what I believe, that we're constantly sliding through parallel realities, and maybe they're just sliding to a reality. That's what I would say. Yeah, I would go with those two, either the alien abduction or the portal.
There's one story that sticks with me, and this one haunts me. It's from just under a year ago. David Paulides released a book called Missing 411 Canada. And there was this story of two sisters and a friend. They were all horseback riding, and the one sister wanted to take a shortcut back to the barn. The other two wanted to go the exact same way. Now, what trips me out about this story is the girl went missing, disappeared. But the horse did as well. The horse was gone.
Yeah.
Now, this was not near a road. This was not anywhere. There was no signs of truck tracks, trailer tracks, horse tracks. If a kidnapper was there, they're not going to likely take the horse. They're going to take the child. And yet the horse is gone as well, never to be seen again. To me, that almost sounds like a portal opened up. She walked in.
Yeah.
Went to the barn.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just absolutely fascinated by those kind of things. I do not know the answer. And maybe nobody does, but I am absolutely fascinated with that idea. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe there's portals at certain locations all around this world. I've obviously never experienced one, but I've read and heard about.
Or have you?
Or have I? Exactly. I did have one. That's probably off subject. I won't go there. But yeah, I'm just fascinated by that. Fascinated.
So do you think that with this multiverse and these multi-dimensions that are intermixing with each other, that would open the door, would it not, to doppelgangers and you running into yourself?
I would say, yeah, you would have to think so. I'm one of those people where I actually believe that time travel is possible. I think time travel is probably much easier than we think. I think it has to do with the frequency. I remember one time hearing from someone that I truly trust the information from, that they were saying that basically that time, like, so we have height, width, depth, and time. And that time is actually a specific frequency. So if you took the example that I heard, which made sense to me, that if you took, say, a copper sphere and you made that copper sphere as thin as you possibly could and as spherical as you possibly could, and you put it on a table that was as flat as you could possibly make a table, and you took that sphere and you put it on one part of the table, and we had the technology to determine the exact frequency of that sphere in that location. And then you moved that sphere to the other side of the table, and you were able to detect the exact frequency of that sphere at that location. when we do have the technology, we will be able to determine that those two spheres are absolutely at a different frequency. And once you find the difference of that frequency and you were to bombard that copper sphere with the frequency of where it was on the other side, that ball would slowly start to roll to match the frequency that you were bombarding it with. So when you think about space as a frequency, as a coordinate, time travel would be much simpler. I mean, obviously, we're dealing with technology that's way beyond what we have now, at least that we're aware of. And it's beyond the consciousness for us to understand. I mean, we're not that smart. I mean, but I do think that that's in the future. I think that that's how our reality works, and that as technology progresses, we will start discovering how our reality really works. And I think that, go ahead.
Do you think time travelers are here right now?
I think for an advanced species, time travel is easy. For us, it's beyond our comprehension. But, we don't know anything. So, that's not saying too much.
Well, no, but it's an interesting question, because there's a lot of people out there who believe that extraterrestrials, what we are seeing or perceive as extraterrestrials, are actually us from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years in the future.
Absolutely could be. Absolutely. I have no doubt that time is much more flexible and much more navigational. Is that the right word? Than we understand it right now. I mean, we're at the base. I do think that something is happening. I think that we're going through a shift right now, and I think that our consciousness is expanding at a rapid rate, because I really feel like in my own life, my ability to understand my own life, and that's really the only thing you're going to understand is your own life. I just feel like I feel like wisdom that would have taken me hundreds of years, but for some reason it's just happening faster. And this is just for me understanding my life and my reality, But in the work that I do, I see this happening to people. I get their comments. I talk to them on the phone. Something is clearly happening. I mean, people are going from having, beliefs. Obviously, we're all programmed by our parents or our culture, and we've just accepted these beliefs. And they basically define how we see our world. And something is happening, and people are questioning their world now, and they're asking better questions. And as they ask better questions, they're drawn to new answers. And I think that the consciousness is expanding. I don't even know if that was off subject or what.
Well, I mean, but isn't that the same argument, to play devil's advocate for a second?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same argument that people have that, that as we grow older, time goes faster? Because I remember being a kid and thinking, the age to 16 to drive was so far away, I will never get there. I can't believe it's 9 years away or 7 years away.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at it like I've never thought retirement before, and now I'm 47. I'll be 48 next year, and I'm thinking, my goodness, should I start preparing for this, or do I put off the inevitable, or whatever it may be? So, I mean, there are all of these questions, and I don't think that time has sped up. It's just that life is very short, and we take it too much for granted.
Yeah. It's funny you said that, because last night I was having a conversation with my 9-year-old son, and he was talking about how the days are lasting forever. because we got certain holidays coming up and birthdays, and so his experience of days is so different than mine. I mean, his days are lasting forever, and I'm just like Friday. I mean, my life is just passing by. So I mean, when you're talking about time, that is so subjective. So I would have to agree that yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the difficult parts of it all, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think as we hit that 40 mark, we kind of start looking at our own mortality a little bit serious, because, I mean, people start dropping dead all around you, and that's never any fun. That's never any fun. I want to shift gears here with you, if you don't mind. I want you to explain to me what high-frequency healings are.
Well, you came up with that term. Did I come up with that term?
I actually got that from one of your video titles, so I'm stealing it from you, and you're now stealing it back.
I suck at coming up with video titles. So that was something okay. So you know what? Let me. Everything is vibration. Everything is a frequency, and I mean, and to make it as simple as possible, I mean, hate obviously is a different vibration than love. Okay. And I don't even know really where to start with this. I guess I would have to go all the way back to, I don't even really know where to start with that question.
No, but I think you're on a good path, that everything has a different energy level. Like you said, love is way more different than hate. And for anybody who's a parent out there, you can never feel that type of love as seeing your child being born. It's not about meeting the love of your life. It is way different.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's different levels. So take me down that road.
Well, I mean, if you are, if you're around somebody that's absolutely depressed and self-loathing and in a really bad state, and then you're around somebody that's really happy and in a really good flow in their life, those people you're going to feel the difference in in those communications with those people, right?
Right.
Okay. So these frequencies, what's really weird, because I don't think that what I do, and I believe there's absolutely millions of people on this planet that when they came to Earth, they agreed to carry this frequency. So I don't think there's anything special about me. I think everybody on the planet can feel these frequencies because they're coursing through them right now. But somehow when you attune to them and you become an open channel for them, the frequencies are higher. And as the client lays down, the client can resist, but if they're coming in and they're open to it, they have to match this higher frequency that's coming through. And the result would be healings. The result would be they feel better. The result is they trust themselves better. They're more in balance. It's almost like hitting the reset button for them. Because, we get caught in these cycles of negative thinking, and the world's out to get us, and everything's crappy. And when you're in that state, when you're in that low frequency depression state of everything's out to get me, you're only going to access thoughts that resonate at that level. And so that's why people feel trapped. And because it's like Einstein said, you will never solve a problem at the same frequency that the problem was created at. You understand what I mean? Like,
yeah. And to take that further, I think if people out there like myself suffer from anxiety, there are certain things that we just cannot tackle because the frequency and fear of it all scares us so much that, you know, we don't even know where to begin. And a perfect example of this, I want to expand our YouTube channel. I'm terrible at editing. I'm trying to figure out my editor. It is literally blowing my mind to the point where I don't even want to look at that program, but I know I have to in order for our channel's success, you know, and the expansion of what we want to do. So there's this internal battle that I continually have. But people have that internal battle, whatever the situation is, every day.
Absolutely. But, you know, I really, you know, just my personal belief, but I feel that, you know, this anxiety and this fear, it's just our programming. You know, it's just these beliefs that we have. And, I mean, you know, if you're told that you're unwanted and that you're unloved and that you're a piece of crap, then, you know, that's your programming. So I mean, your average person probably spends about 5% of his day conscious of what he's thinking. The other 95%, it's just the programming. It's just the software. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm overwhelmed by this. And so, you know, I've seen too many examples of people that once you uncover this programming, these limited beliefs that we just run through our mind all day, when you become aware of them and you replace those with more positive beliefs, your life changes. I'm sure people are thinking,
you know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody last night, and there's been some friction caused. And I told this person, because it involves me in my personal life, and I don't usually talk about that too much on the air, but I'm curious your opinion. One of the strongest statements that I have found in my life, and I've used this with my daughters, I've used this with my ex-spouse, I used it with this person last night. I said, we always have to remember that for every action, there is a reaction, whether it's positive or negative. It all depends on what your choice is. How do we make the right choices to make sure that the reactions are the way they should be in order to benefit us? Maybe not on a you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh goodness, I've drawn a blank. Maybe not on a selfish level, but on a personal level of growth and healing.
Well, I mean, obviously, people, it's not really about what happens to you or what somebody says. It's how it's your state of being and how it's your perception of what's happening. And, you know, when you're caught in that negative thing, you know, I mean, you know, it's so obvious. You can go to a party with someone and you can have the same exact experience at the same party, talking to the same people, and you have two totally different interpretations of what happened. And so, you know, ask that one more time.
Well, let's go to break.
Okay.
Let's go to break, because for every action, there's a reaction, and our reaction right now is to head off to break here on Spaced Out Radio. We have Case Parks with us. We got him for another hour on the show. His website, everydaymasters.life. You want to check it on out. Highly suggest you do. This is a bright dude here. More Spaced Out Radio coming up after this. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave. No, Dave's here. Dave is totally here.
Coffee's going right through me.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Apparently, I'm Bombshell Bomber's favorite Dave in the world.
Nice.
That is nice. You know how many Daves are out there? There's a ton of Daves out there. You know? But where's home for you, if you don't mind?
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You mentioned that earlier. I just remembered it. Oh, you just moved there? What made you move there?
I don't know. It was between Austin, Texas, which I've never wanted to live in Texas ever, Portland, Oregon, or someplace in Colorado. And the universe brought up Fort Collins. And it was basically, we were living in New York, and we just were, I don't know. We kind of just follow our instinct and follow synchronicities, and it just kind of led us to Fort Collins. No real reason.
Lots of aliens around there, man.
I love it. I can't wait to see. I'm actually I can't believe that, like, I've never seen one. It just blows my mind. Like, I'm on the team, dude. It's like, come on. Come on.
Oh, you just got to ask, man. You're tuned into your body. Tune into the sky. Summon them down. Just remember, be careful what you ask for.
There's been a few times that I thought I was on the verge of having an experience, but it never happened.
Dude, wait until you're face to face with one. Then you shit your pants, and then it's all good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was one time I really felt like something's getting ready to happen, and all of a sudden, the energy increased so much, and there was a little bit of fear.
Yep.
And I feel like I kind of ruined it.
Oh yeah. I have one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had was I was dropped into my bed.
Oh wow!
From about 2-3 feet high, I was dropped into my bed, and it was the weirdest feeling, man. Because I was just kind of like, I can't believe, because I woke up as I was falling into my bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was a trip, man.
Were you alone or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I knew I'd been taken.
Yeah.
I told them I didn't want to go that night, and the next thing I know, I'm like in my bedroom, above my bed, eyes open as I'm falling back down onto my bed.
Wow, that's a beautiful experience.
Oh, it was trippy, man. It was trippy.
Yeah.
I've been taken that I know of about 5-6 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, for me, I've had 2 extraterrestrial experiences where I've been face to face with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I look at it and I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be standing in that forest again, having that 10 to 12 foot extraterrestrial standing there again. And it's instead of being freaked out, I want my balls to drop so I can actually walk up to it.
Yeah. You have any recollection of an
oh yeah,
conversation?
Oh no, I wasn't ready for that then.
Okay.
No, I was not ready for that at that point.
Well, I'm at the point, dude, where I actually have a little cutout of an alien that we put in our window, kind of adjusting ourselves to not be freaked out. That, like, literally, dude, I'm not even kidding you. I have a cutout, and yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan. I'm looking forward to, before I leave this planet, I will have an interaction.
All right, well, let's get into that when we come back here. We got 10 seconds left. Thank you, Cat Chaser, for the super chat tonight. Thank you to everybody who's given us a thumbs up so far. Don't forget to shop at the Vault. Here we go. halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. I'm the dude sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning us in. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with Case Parks, high frequency healing. And you know what? It wouldn't be this show if we didn't get into a few aliens here, because you know what? Every now and again, you got to get a little aliens, and with no exception, Case wants to have a case of aliens as well, pun intended. Case, welcome back.
Good to be back, man.
Let me get your website out there so people can check it on out. Everydaymasters.life to check it on out. But, you know, you're someone where you are trying to connect with extraterrestrials. Why do you want to do that?
Well, I feel like I'm part of the team, and I just, I'm 100% positive in my beliefs, in my knowing that the universe is filled with other life, and in my own way, I feel like I'm playing a very valuable role in raising the frequency of I really think that before we're ever going to have any type of mass consciousness, we really need to raise the frequency of the mass consciousness, because I've always been a big believer that, people are saying, oh, well, they'll never have like open contact because it'll freak people out. And I'm always like, who cares? Like, let them freak out. You know what people do? People get over it. We adapt, we evolve. And I don't know. I just always, when I was younger, I would go out to, remote locations and spend hours, just looking at the stars. I've always felt connected to the stars. And now with this friggin' frequency coming into my life and this Pleiadian connection, dude, I feel like I'm on the team. And for me to not even see a UFO, I'm kind of like...
You feel ripped off.
I feel ripped off. I absolutely feel ripped off.
Dude, it is 100% worse when you've had the experiences and then they shut off.
I could see that. If I couldn't feel these frequencies anymore, I would be very pissed.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that the other night, where our one guest hadn't had an experience since January. And it almost becomes like an addicting drug.
Of course.
Where you start to expect the experience. You want it to happen. You're yearning for it to happen, but it doesn't. And it's crazy.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Absolutely. What do you think about go back to the time travel thing? I kind of believe that the Greys are a future version of humanity in a parallel reality, and that they had basically went down the wrong road with technology and destroyed their planet. And I feel like they had started to lose touch with nature and lose touch with their emotions. They became less emotional, and then they started cloning each other, and they realized that they have no future and that their only possibility was to reintroduce valid human DNA back into their existence, almost like a hybrid type of thing. And I really believe that people that are having abduction type of experiences, that on some level they've agreed to be a part of this DNA hybridization, where we're actually helping the Greys, who are actually a future, another version of humans that just went down the wrong path. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know if I buy it. but the possibility is there. I think what happens with a lot of these situations is we tend to dilute and dissect everything to such minute details now that we're almost reaching that the grays are the future us in 20 years. Well, what happened to the extra finger? Because everybody who sees a gray only sees 3 fingers and a thumb.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how did we lose a digit? I want to know that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know, what it's like to be thin like that, because I'm an obese man. It's not pretty. Trust me, I looked in the mirror today. Not pretty. But the point that I'm getting at is in regards to who they are, where they're from, I tend to think that there's some sort of, biomechanical robot that really doesn't understand feelings from the stars.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're lacking emotion, and I think that they probably operate under like a hive mentality, as like workers, so yeah, I would agree with you on that. I mean, it's just my beliefs. It's just my, from all the data that I've gathered, my personal belief that I'm working with right now.
I agree.
Who's the guy in, I think, Holland or the Myers? What's his name?
Billy Myers, but he's been kind of cast aside as a fraud.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could. Well, everybody can be cast aside as a fraud. I mean,
Oh, they found the hubcaps, though.
I saw that. I think there's other information, though, that I think that I find him fascinating.
The whole story's fascinating. There's a lot. There's one from Fort Collins, which was Stan Romanek, but he ended up getting busted for having some horrific pictures on his computers.
Oh.
Yes.
He was in Colorado Springs, down south.
Oh, yes, he was in Colorado Springs. Pardon me.
It's cool.
You're
supposed to be the expert on this.
Me? Yeah, but I'm interviewing you. I'm interviewing you. Can I take my job back? Do you mind? You don't mind, do you?
You're amazing at your job, man.
Well, I thank you for that. I really do. Hey, radio stations, you did hear that. Maybe I need a raise now. But nonetheless, getting back on topic with extraterrestrial contact, why do you feel the impending need inside yourself to want to have that contact? Because for so many people out there, it hasn't been a pleasant situation.
Well, I think it goes back to your programming. I mean, look at the movies that are put out. Look at what's been implanted in our brains about extraterrestrial life. I mean, how many positive extraterrestrial stories are there? What, like E.T., Close Encounters, and like Starman? Like, most of them are negative. And, when you combine that with, people being brought up in organized religion, it's just the programming. I don't have that programming. And I feel like I've probably experienced several different lives as several different other species, and I feel like it's my brothers and sisters. And how would you feel if your brothers and sisters never gave you a call and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm not saying that things don't happen to me and I'm not conscious of. That could be a possibility, but I feel like I'm on the team, man. And it's just this burning, it goes back to that feeling, the burning feeling of like, Close Encounters when he was drawn to the Devil's Tower. I have a very similar feeling, and yet my towers never showed up like that. So,
And I can see that, and trust me, it's a connection that I do understand, and I think anybody who has been an ET contactee would understand that as well. I mean, it's almost an emotional push like this. It's meant to happen. You want to happen. For people who don't understand what that want and that meaning is, define that for us.
Yeah.
Can you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I'm sorry. That was a question. I didn't even. I was just watching you. And I was actually thinking about something else. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Just in regards to that, you feel that want, that desire, that need, like it's supposed to happen, that you are supposed to have ET contact. For people who do not understand what that feeling is like, can you define what that means to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I will say that. Okay, so I'll just tell you a quick story, and maybe that'll define it. I'm not like really big on psychics or things like that, but I have had a few encounters with psychics, mediums, randomly, and every one of them was talking about my fourth child, that I have a fourth child. And they even said, and in a different situation, my wife was told that we have a fourth child. Well, we only have three children. And I believe this so much. I feel so. I guess what I'm saying is literally when we moved down to the Yucatan in Mexico, we were living in a tiny, tiny little fishing village, and we were so secluded that I literally thought that there might be some kind of child from the stars hybrid, like something that we were going to be a part of raising. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but I don't know. I just feel like I feel like I have a child that's not on Earth, and I would like to meet him. I don't know how else to even put it.
That would imply that you've been taken.
Yeah, I would not. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I am not conscious of it. And like I said, I would really like to be conscious of it. Or maybe it was just my wife that was taken. I really don't know. I just feel really close to, I feel like I have family in the stars, and I feel like they're looking after me, but I would like to have a physical encounter,
Well, let's push this a little further. I'm gonna put the guru hat on here for a second.
Okay, good.
All right, let's speak to your mind here for a moment. You mentioned Pleiadians a couple of times. Do you feel that that is the star system or the alien species that you're most connected with?
I would say it's probably the most familiar. I would think that all of us have experienced many, many different types of experiences. So I would never say like I'm a Pleiadian, because I'm sure that we've all had a variety of experiences, but for some reason the Pleiadian really resonates with me. And like I said, so like, okay, for instance, when I was in college, now this is just something that like your rational mind really can't make sense of. Like my rational mind couldn't really make sense of, and I actually forgot about it for probably like 20 years. I was in college and I'm in a speech class, and this guy's giving this speech on this like wind talker. He's got this piece of wood attached to a string, and he's giving this speech, and he's spinning this thing around. And it's making this really cool sound, and he's talking about the Hopi Indians. And so after the speech, I'm just absolutely captivated the whole time. I'd never heard about the Hopi Indians, had no idea about them. So after the speech, I go up to him like, so what were we talking about? The Hopi Indians, where are they located? And I was asking these questions, and he ends up giving me this book, the Book of the Hopi. So I take this book home, back to my apartment, and I start reading it. And I'm in school, and I'm about 2 weeks away from finals. I start reading this book, and the next day, I packed up my stuff, and I left college, and I drove to the Hopi reservation by myself. as I'm driving there, I just feel like I'm being called somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I just have to go to the Hopi Reservation. I go all the way to the Hopi Reservation. I show up, and it's just this wasteland. There's like, I don't know if anybody's ever been there, there's like nothing there. It's just like these mud huts that are just dilapidated, and there's nothing going on. There's literally nothing. And I got out of the car, and I'm kind of like looking around, and all of a sudden I see this snake. And this snake starts coming up to me. And like, I'm not a big fan of snakes. Like, I really am afraid of snakes. It's like one of my only fears.
Me too.
I hate snakes, dude. I don't want anything to do with them. So I see this beautiful colored snake. And as I see that, I go, what the hell am I doing on the Hopi Reservation? Why did I come here? Like, what is going on? And I kind of like snapped out of it. And then, to be honest with you, man, I got back like 2 days later, and I don't even remember like the drive back. I mean, I not like I was abducted or anything, but like I don't remember. So, and basically the Hopis believe that we all were going through these experiences in the Pleiades. The star went supernova, and we decided that we were going to go to Earth and to go through these experiences on Earth. We were going to go through these 7 worlds in these 7 universes. And we were in the 4th universe, getting ready to shift into the 5th universe. So I just kind of filed that information away and just went on with my life. And I literally forgot about it for a couple decades. And then when I discovered these frequencies for myself, and there was this process called the reconnection. It's a 2-day process. Anyway, so I go in, I can feel these frequencies. I had to learn more. I go to this lady, she's giving this presentation. I go, what the hell, what's a reconnection? She goes, okay, well, I'll skip that. So anyway, when these frequencies first came onto the planet, they came through this chiropractor. He was a chiropractor in LA, and he started feeling these frequencies. And this is when his clients all started having these crazy healings. But during this time, 50 of his patients, as soon as he walked up to them, they all lost consciousness. Their eyes rolled back in their head, and all 50 of them channeled the same 6 phrases. And what they channeled was, you must continue to do what you're doing. What you're doing is bringing light and information onto this planet. What you're doing is reconnecting strands. What you're doing is reconnecting strings. You must know that you're a master, and we came for your reputation. So I'm fascinated by reconnecting strands. I'm fascinated that these frequencies are reconnecting strings. And so the lady that's doing my personal reconnection, she can tell that I'm just fascinated. And she's like, hey, man, there's more information about these frequencies, and it's on these discs. You might want to listen to these discs, this channeled information. So as soon as I got done with my reconnection, I jump in my car and I stick in the CD. And the first thing he says is, he goes, when I wrote the book, there was 2 things that I didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to mention the channeled information, and I didn't want to mention this Pleiadian connection. And dude, as soon as I heard that, I flashed back and I remembered this whole Hopi thing, and I realized that I've had these strange things happening in my life, throughout my life, and they're kind of all related to this Native American and this Pleiadian connection. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. And that's why I feel such a strong connection with the Pleiadians. But, once again, I think we've all done everything. I think we've been it all. So that's where I stand on that.
Well, that's a little heavy, considering the fact that that brings up the whole topic of reincarnation as well, as we have about 4 minutes here to go before we got to go to break at the top of the hour.
I mean, if people don't believe in reincarnation, I wouldn't even know where to start, because that is like so ingrained into my belief system. Like, it's such common sense to me that I am flabbergasted. Like, for me to for someone to not believe in reincarnation, that would be like someone not believing in extraterrestrial life. Like, I would rather just like let that go. Like, I don't even want to like have to debate the concept of reincarnation, because it runs deep in my belief system and in my truths. And I have zero desire to try to convince anybody that, I actually have zero desire to convince anybody of anything. Like, that's something that's changed in me, because I always, when I would do my research and I would, go down these rabbit holes, I would love to debate people and to talk about things. And now I really don't. I have zero desire to convince anybody of anything. If we're on the same page, then let's run with it. And if we're not, then that's cool.
So, I mean, if we've been there before, we've been there and done that, why keep going? Because the one BS thing, and I'll add to this, the one BS thing that I think is through this entire thing, and I could be completely wrong, but it just sounds foolish to me, is that we have to keep coming back, because we have to learn more spiritually to advance on the spiritual level, like we're trying to climb from T-ball up to the major leagues.
Yeah. Well, I think that, there's plenty of theories out there on the reincarnation and karma and how we've been trapped. I actually believe that we've already done it all, and that this is the lifetime where we start accessing the wisdom that we've already gained in those other lives. I think that maybe from my perspective that through our belief system, we've kind of trapped ourselves. And I know that there's tons of people that believe that, we've been, we're trapped by the archons, or, we're caught in the cycle of repeating the same experience. But I always go back to we've trapped ourselves with our beliefs and our indoctrination. Just my beliefs.
Well, I mean, it does make sense. It does make sense. But, I mean, how far does that sense go? I mean, we can make anything in our lives make sense. It's just difficult to see whether or not it's actually true.
Well, let's take it even farther down the rabbit hole. As far as reincarnation goes, I actually believe that every one of those lives is happening right now. Every life you've ever experienced is happening right now in this moment. And I think that the veil that has kept us separate, that has kept us isolated, that has kept us like caught in this one world, I think it's thinning. And I think our ability to make these connections with other experiences that our oversoul is having right now is becoming thinner. And I think we're waking up and we're starting to access the wisdom that we've gained in those other experiences.
Well, that's the intriguing part about it. And we have you for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio. Our guest tonight is Case Parks. His website, if you want to check it on out, everydaymasters.life. It's got a pretty popular YouTube channel as well that we highly suggest you hit that subscribe button. Bang that red subscribe button, everyone. Bang it. Anyways, we got Case for another 30 minutes. Where we're going, I have no clue. We're just going to continue the conversation because it's been pretty awesome so far. That's what we do here on Spaced Out Radio. Then at the bottom of the hour, we're going to hook up with the Shift in Vancouver, nail down the Thought of the Day, and the SOR Newswire. Jam-packed Hour 3 is next. Having fun so far?
I love it. Loving it. You're really good, man. I actually do a couple interviews with some of my clients, and I really suck at interviewing. And I really am picking up a few hot tips. Whatever. Huh?
Find your niche. I'm just going to run my dogs out. I'll tell you all about that when I get back, okay?
Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightline Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
All right, I'm back. Let's go like that. No, when you're interviewing someone, you just have to find the niche that you go with. Like, for instance, I'm an experiencer. I'm a journalist. And I know that I can't have a scientific conversation with somebody. I'm going to look really, really dumb.
Yep.
Really dumb. You know, but on the flip side, you know, you have to go with what you know and build off of that. Like, for instance, my big thing is, you know, whether it's with somebody who's a heavy researcher or somebody who's an experiencer, is tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
I want to know your opinion. What's in your gut? What's in your brain? You know?
Yep. One of my problems is when I'm interviewing somebody, I have this stupid thing that I always go, yeah, instead of letting them just talk.
Yeah.
I can't.
Learn to nod.
Learn, yes, nod.
Bite your lips and learn to nod until your lips get sore. Hold on here. Let me just interject in the chat room. No, I don't know when a Canadian team will ever win the Stanley Cup again. And Let's see here. Vancouver doesn't get that cold. Where I am, it does get cold. It totally does get cold. We got 40 seconds. I'm going to get you to turn your speaker down just a little bit again because we're getting a little bit of feedback. You don't mind? Chefist, we love you. Your mustache is fantastic. You know, even though you raised the price of your toe lint, you know, that I don't know. I don't know why you did it. I don't know. Big thanks to Cat Chaser for the super chat. Everybody who's hit that subscribe button and given us a thumbs up tonight, we really do appreciate it. Here we go in 5 seconds.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Hour number 3 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Here we go. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for staying up late with us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live Revolution Radio at KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do you got for us, Clam? I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm just going to admit it. Cathenotheism. Canotheism? Is that it? Cathon? I don't even know. I'm not trying. Tractor. Tractor is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers. As the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce our guest, Case Parks. Got a great website called everydaymasters.life where teaches you about your Zen, your Chi, how to find yourself, how he can help you find you, and where are you going to go with it? Where are you going to go? Case, welcome back.
Good to be back.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Really do appreciate your time. You kind of talk about, through your courses, about, what are you creating? What are you trying to raise your frequency for? How do you help out, not only yourself, but others? But one of the sections that you have done a little bit of a study on is psychedelics.
Mm-hmm.
Why go down this road?
Oh, why not, man? It's a perfect opportunity for a few hours to remove that veil that we're living in. Our senses are only picking up a very thin sliver of our reality. And I found that mushrooms, I don't do them all the time. I haven't done them in 2.5 years. And there's been many years in gaps in doing them, but I've always had an absolute amazing spiritual experience when that veil is taken away for a few hours. And I've only had positive experiences from ever doing mushrooms.
Tell me about the trip, man, because I've heard a lot of people going down this road, in trying to connect with their higher self, their higher intelligence, maybe extraterrestrials. Okay. I'm curious, like, why go down that road?
I can't believe that you haven't tried them. Why wouldn't you at least experience it once? I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's just self-evident that it's just it's a very temporary experience. And actually, the research that's been done lately on it's always been there, but is finally being accepted is how mushrooms can absolutely heal someone from chronic depression. It's all you got to do is a little bit of research, and the benefits far outweigh any negatives, in my opinion.
Okay, so when you go on that trip, what's it like for those of us who haven't experienced it?
Okay, so for instance, if I was on mushrooms right now and I looked down at this glass of water and I picked up this glass of water, the feeling of holding that glass of water is just, you are that glass of water. And when you take a drink, you just feel that water going down. It's just, it turns your brain off and it magnifies all your senses. So when your senses are magnified and this monkey mind, ego mind gets turned off, it's just this incredibly calming, peaceful, healing experience. And what's ironic is that, I mean, like literally, if I held this glass of water, it would just be the greatest glass of water that I've ever held. And if I drank it, it would be amazing to feel that water going down my throat. And that experience is always available, but yet we don't experience a glass of water on that level. So it's just an opportunity to experience life with your mind turned off and your senses magnified. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so for some people, they are able to connect with extraterrestrials. Other people are able to connect with, different forms of dimensions or alternative realities. I guess it's all based on the trip that you have, because you don't have control of it.
You have very little control. I will say that, there have been many times when I have, well, not many times, but there's been several times that I've taken mushrooms with friends. And ironically enough, we have had the same visual hallucinations, meaning, maybe we're out in nature and we look up at the clouds and we both see similar geometrical kind of fluctuations. We're sharing the same type of visual experience, which is kind of ironic to share a similar, experience. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you? I'm sorry, I just don't understand. I understand how to take mushrooms, even though I've never done it, but I don't understand why someone would put themselves through this, because, well, number one, they're kind of illegal, but number two, except in Oregon, but number two,
yeah, they're legal here too.
Okay, but number two, why put your mind through something like that? Because I'm sure there's many people out there who cannot handle the ramifications, either positive or negative.
Well, that's just something that you have to experience. It's like me trying to tell you what a strawberry tastes like. No matter how articulate I am, no matter how many words I have access to use, I'll never be able to describe what a strawberry tastes like to you. But the second you take a bite of the strawberry, everything that I would say would be irrelevant, because you know what it's like. And mushrooms come from nature, and I've never even thought about, like, why would I take them? I took them just knowing that I was going to have a different type of experience than normal consciousness. I find them extremely, I think they're a magnificent teacher. And like I said, I've had some amazing spiritual experiences on them. And yes, there's probably people that with their belief systems would not enjoy them as much as me, much as I do. But, then maybe they shouldn't take them. But to describe, it just seems like it's like marijuana. Like, why would you smoke marijuana? Marijuana comes from nature. It's a plant. And I think it's also a wonderful healing plant.
True, but marijuana doesn't have the trip that something like a psychedelic does.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just an opportunity to experience reality, a temporary experience, and I've found nothing but growth from doing it. I haven't done it too much. I've probably done it 20 times in my life.
Okay. So the next question I have for you in regards to the trip, how do you know it's not the trip and that it is some sort of reality? See, one of the reasons why I've never done it is any experience I've had, I've always been sober. I've never needed a hallucinogen in order to have that, because how do I know that whatever I see is going to be not just, an explosive Lucy in the sky with diamonds in my mind rather than having a real experience?
Well, what makes the Lucy in the sky diamonds not a real experience? You're experiencing it.
True. But we don't know if that's the power of the mind or the power of the aliens.
I think that on some level we could. I think that type of experience always exists, but the limitations of our senses keep us locked into this certain experience of reality, and I think that we use that as a tool to leave that layer, that thin experience of our reality, and we can learn from it. And I mean, if somebody told me that I was going to take mushrooms and I was going to trip for a month, I wouldn't take them. But knowing that it's a temporary 3 or 4 or 5 hour experience, I've never had a problem with that.
I would just like to have 5 hours to myself, let alone 5 hours for a trip.
I think that if you took mushrooms, you would have a completely different experience. I think you would have a completely different opinion about them, and your worry about them, or your possible fear, would absolutely evaporate. I could be wrong.
Never know.
Never know.
I'm not saying I would or I wouldn't. Right now, I'm leaning more towards I wouldn't. But just one way to open the mind, man.
It is a way to open the mind. It is, and I think it's an underappreciated natural healing tool.
Okay, so how come, like, for instance, I know UFO researcher Grant Cameron is doing a study on psychedelics by using magic mushrooms to connect with UFOs/aliens. He hasn't fully completed his study yet, but how come in his mind he can connect, or other people can connect with extraterrestrials, yet somebody like you who's done it numerous times in the experimentation to see where you go, you haven't been able to create that connection yet?
Have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Maybe I haven't put the time in. When you said earlier, well, you need to ask. Maybe I haven't asked in the right way. Maybe there's a part of me that's slightly fearful, and that's what's keeping the experience from my consciousness.
So what do we got to do? We've got a whole 9 minutes left. What do we got to do to open you up there, Case Parks?
I tell you what, you tell me, because I am a student willing to be taught when it comes to having extraterrestrial contact.
You know what worked for me, to be absolutely honest? For a long time, this worked for me. Peace, love, and light, man.
Yeah.
And shoot it into the stars. Shoot it into the stars as far as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And for a while there, it was that simple. It really was. I don't know why. It worked for me. Not saying it would work for you.
Yeah. And so are you saying that it's not working for you anymore?
No. No, it's not working for me. And the reason, there's a couple reasons. Number one, I believe it's because I'm too exhausting or exhausted. Pardon me. I don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
My day starts at 7 in the morning and ends at midnight Pacific.
Wow, that's a long day.
Okay, and well, actually, it ends at 1 a.m. Pacific.
Wow,
that's a long day. Two jobs, and then got to play the role of dad in between for an hour and a half. Okay, it's very tough. It's very tough. So, I mean, that is something that, I think that they're giving me a break. That being said, I've lost touch with my own spirituality because I put so much focus on the show.
Yep.
All right. That I've lost my own being in tune.
Yep. Yeah.
And number 3, I got cursed.
Who'd you get cursed by?
A witch. Who was very jealous of my experiences because I was a dummy in not understanding how they were happening. But the curse has been removed, so I'm good with that.
How'd you remove it?
I had a couple people help me remove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. Well, I am envious of everyone that is conscious of their experiences, and hopefully one day I will get out of my way and I will be able to have that experience.
Why do you want it so bad?
I don't know. I think, it's like, I just do. Like there's just something, something in me.
Like I know earlier you said it's something in you that you feel you need to accomplish.
I hope that, I have a certain kind of idealized version of when more open contact would happen. And I think that probably by the year 2035, we will be living with a completely different consciousness about other life forms. And I think that open contact on a mass level will be around that time. And I just really hope to be on the planet to experience that. I know my children will. I just hope that I am here when that happens.
Okay, so as you wish for contact and you wanted to have contact, have you hung out with more people who have contact with extraterrestrials or claim to?
That's interesting because obviously with the work I do, I am around more people that are on that same page. But for some reason, as crazy as the stuff that I talk about, I do have friends I do have acquaintances that have these daily experiences. And like I said, as crazy as the stuff that I do and the stuff that I talk about and the stuff that I believe sounds to everybody else, they almost sound like that to me. It's like, because it's out of my realm of understanding how they can have these contacts, this interchange, this experience on a daily basis. And it starts to sound crazy to me. Maybe it's just because I'm like, it's just not in my world and I can't get my mind around it. But I understand that, that's the way most people probably see me. So I don't know. I am around people and I do talk with people that have frequent experiences. And that hasn't seemed to help me have one myself. So I'm not sure if I answered your question. But
all right. So let's ask you this then. What's your block?
I don't know. Maybe it's a control thing. Maybe it's a control issue.
Have you asked your spirit guides?
Damn, I feel like my spirit guides are my family from the stars. So, yeah, I guess you could say that.
But have you asked them?
Maybe I haven't. Sure feels like I have. But maybe also it's the thing that you were talking about, how you get so wrapped up in your 12 to 1 or your 7 to 1 that your energy and your focus is, you're focused on making a living and being a dad and having this amazing radio program. So, maybe I haven't actually. Maybe I haven't.
Something to think about.
I love to think about things. I love to be proven wrong. I love it.
My friend, we've only got less than 2.5 minutes left with you tonight, and
Okay.
I told you when we started this show, I remember you saying, "Dude, I've never done a 2.5-hour show before.
Yeah.
What's it like?" And I said, "It's going to go by really fast."
Amazing fast.
And that's exactly what has happened here. So in the next couple of minutes here, 2.5 minutes, do me a favor, go into a little bit of detail of what our audience can experience from you in learning about your YouTube channel and your program.
Okay, I would say that I would rather just skip that and say, there's a shift happening right now. And I think it's really important right now that we really start trusting this inner guidance that we have. And we really need to stop focusing on what we don't want in our life, what's wrong with the world, and start really focusing on our own passions, what excites us. And I think that as we follow our passions and as we lean into trusting ourselves, I think that we set the example for others, and we, as a whole, we start raising the frequency of the masses. And I don't know, I think it's just a really crucial time with so much division on the planet right now that we really focus on what we love, and we not get caught up on what we're disagreeing on, but what we're agreeing on. And I think something amazing is getting ready to happen on the planet, and I think we're going to go through some turmoil for the next couple years. But I really hope people see that or feel that something amazing is happening. And I just want people to be happy. I just want them to be content. I just want them to be happy. And and if you're interested, just go to my website, YouTube channel, and just watch some of the videos. And if it resonates, cool. If it doesn't, cool. But really, I'm not trying to push anything that I do. I'm really just trying to. I just want people to be happy, and I want us to start. Just focusing on what's important in our life.
Wonderful. Case, I want to say thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. Absolute pleasure to get to know you, man. You're a great guy. All the continued success for what you're doing with your practice. His website, Case Parks, everydaymasters.life. Make sure you check it on out. Coming up next, we're going to hook up with Vancouver and go on to the shift. And we're going to talk some UFOs. I may have some intriguing news for you guys, so stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Good job, buddy.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on and speak my lunacy, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and not a problem. I really enjoyed you, man. I really did. I felt a good connection with you on the air, and that's good stuff. If you want to, about 1 o'clock Pacific, everything will be in archive. So if you want to use any of these videos, you're more than welcome to, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
All right, you take care. Thank you so much Really
Yes.
appreciate you.
Okay, you have an amazing night.
Stay in touch. Bye-bye.
See you, Dave. Bye.
I like him. I really do. He's a nice guy. I know I say that about every guest, okay? I know, but he's a lot of fun. He's not afraid to admit what he doesn't know. And I think that's refreshing. Because a lot of these spiritual woo-woo type people, you know, they seem to have a lot of know-it-all stature. You know what I'm saying? They seem to. However, you know, this guy didn't. I thought he was pretty natural. And that's hard to find, man. Totally hard to find. Totally hard. I was impressed with him. Really impressed with him. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's the way I feel about it. And I kind of I'm just waiting for, I'm just waiting for Vancouver to call in here. And they should be calling in at any time. Let's see. And oh yeah, that'll be good. Right there. Fun of the Prime Minister. That was a good dude, man. Good dude. I liked him. Oh, there's Vancouver. Hey, Vancouver.
Hey, Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio. How you doing tonight, my man?
Oh, good, man. Good. I got some good stuff for you guys tonight. Very good stuff.
Oh, can't wait, man. Can't wait. What we got tonight?
Oh, you know what? I'll tease my audience here because they're all listening to you. Let's just say that I was tipped off a week ago or about a week and a half ago by a spook that there is an incredibly good photo out there of a UFO.
Oh.
Yes. I have to keep it a little shy right now, but in about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, I will get full detail into that.
Oh, well, we're definitely excited over here, Dave. All right, so yeah, we'll come to you at 36 as usual. Yep. We're just I think we're on about 1:15 here before we come back, so I think everything should line up there.
All right, it is Shane tonight, correct?
Yes, it is Shane. Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right, we will be with you real shortly, Dave.
Sounds good. All right, guys, on our end, we have 90 seconds, just over.
For just
Play a little commercial there for you. Really trip you out for those of you who are having a weird trip on shrooms tonight.
Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives.
Yeah. How's that? Feel good? Feel better? Does Dave have COVID? No, he does not. Dave doesn't have the vid. Dave takes his vitamin C, vitamin D, and capsicum in order to keep the vid away. All right, guys, 30 seconds. and third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us. We're going to get to the news here momentarily, but first we're going to hook up with the shift out of Vancouver, going right across Canada with Big Bad Shane, and let's see where he is.
Okay, thanks, Glenn. Wow.
But what if your friend has a booger?
I don't know. What if your friend has a booger? I don't know. Let's see where we are.
Just don't get in there.
I don't know. Are we ready?
Dave Scott.
Yes.
Spaced Out Radio.
Man.
I am that guy.
He's there. He is. He's here now. We've been auctioning off Matt, the technical producer, on the program. So if you'd like to make a bid, you feel free.
Are
you $34.11?
Yeah, that's way too rich for radio, man. Way too rich for radio.
I get it.
So, and throwing in smokes, of course.
Well, you have to. You have to.
Delivery.
You have to.
This is important. Before we get started here, Dave Scott, with all the woo-woo.
Yes.
It is Good News Tuesday-ish.
Yes.
And as we do, we like to share the good news here on the shift with all of the shift heads. And I was wondering, is there anything good news going on in your world that we could share?
Good news. I work in radio.
Well, good.
There is no good news. No, I'm teasing. Good news would be that I have a kind of a pseudo-breaking story for you that hasn't even broken yet. Well, it's broken. It's been tipped off, teased, but nothing official has been written yet.
All right. Well, that sounds very intriguing, doesn't it?
Oh,
So what are we?
I'm building up to it.
Are we setting the world about here? Are we reinventing something? Is this? Are we going to end up in the news tomorrow because we did it today? Like, what's going on?
Well, it could be. But you know, Shane, we have talked a lot over the last number of months about the United States Navy videos of the Tic Tac Go Fast and the gimbal film. Okay, as we talk UFOs. But on December 2nd, there is going to be a very powerful article coming out by a journalist named Tim McMillan. And he has the inside scoop on a very intriguing story. Apparently, the United States Navy is not very happy about this story. And they are fighting, apparently, potentially, with some of their own in the Office of Naval Intelligence. So, in the last 12 months, there has been a major UFO sighting. Major.
Okay.
And what was happening was, I believe it was in the Pacific Ocean, there were two happenstances. Number one, which was reported by our team scientist, Bob McGuire, that there was a UFO underwater, submerged, that was toying with an American submarine.
Oh, not crash, like
no, just
swimming.
Toying with it in the water. Kind of freaked out the crew. The second one, and this is where it gets real intriguing, is the Office of the Naval Intelligence found out about this, wanted to go absolutely public with it. The Navy said no. So how they apparently got around it was they decided that they were going to send a giant memo with a clear-as-day photograph of a black triangle sitting vertically out of the ocean that was taken by an FA-18 Super Hornet pilot. And as the Hornet approached this craft, whatever it was, it shot straight in the sky and disappeared. And they got one photo of this black triangle coming out of the ocean.
And we get to see it.
Well, that is for debate. Tim McMillan, who is writing this article, I have it on good authority that he has seen the photo. Whether or not he's going to be allowed to release it in his coming article on December 2nd, I do not know. What I do know is the ONI, or the Office of Naval Intelligence, was so upset about the Navy not going with their new protocol in announcing what had happened that they released this photo and the report to over 1,100 Secret Service and intelligence agents in the United States. And part of it, the other part that I heard, was they were hoping that this writer, Tim McMillan, would get a hold of it, that somebody would leak it to him. And that's exactly what allegedly has happened. We'll find out on December 2nd. But when we saw the videos from the United States Navy before, they were all in the early to mid-2000s. This incident has happened within the last 12 months. The Navy is going crazy because they've had two of them happen while on training exercises. They have no control of what it is. They have no idea what this black triangle is. The Office of Naval Intelligence wants it to go public. The Navy wants to keep the secret. So the Navy right now, from what I'm hearing, is trying to shut this down.
So, shut this down, why? Because they've already released other pictures, haven't they?
Well, you got to realize that the other three videos were actually tricked out of coming. Now, how those other three videos came out was like this. A gentleman named Luis Elizondo was running a program called ATIP. And he worked closely with a gentleman named Chris Mellon, who was assistant or associate director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, or the DoD. Pardon me, us being Canadian, I always get that a little confused. And what he did was, in order to get those three videos released to the public, was he, instead of ticking the box that said UAP, or unidentified aerial phenomena, he ticked off the box that said drone. Well, anything that is considered a drone can be released to the public. Anything that says UAP is not allowed in the public's eyes or the public's hands, even the political hands. And that's how those three original videos came out, is they were declared as drones on paperwork, because Elizondo and Mellon knew they were starting up the To the Stars Academy, and they needed to get something out there as provable evidence, which is how that happened. Now, the United States Navy sure didn't like the fact that the To the Stars Academy was putting their logo on U.S. Navy videos, and actually threatened to cut off both men from their top secret clearance after finding out it was them. And so that's how those three original videos came out. The Navy has basically said, because of that, they admitted that those, as we found out earlier this year, that those videos are definitely unidentified aerial phenomena, and they're not claiming it's alien. They're not claiming that there's little gray guys on there, but that they don't know whether this technology is from this planet, of an adversary, or of someone else. So when it comes to this new event, where allegedly one, maybe two photographs have been taken, a submarine has been toyed with in the ocean, a major nuclear submarine, and now we have an alleged photo of a black triangle coming out of the water, then taking off vertically, shooting up straight into the stars, almost faster than a speeding bullet, if not faster. The Navy is pulling their hair out, trying to figure out what to do with these unidentified aerial phenomena that are toying with the latest human technology. How heavy is that?
Well, I find it interesting. I find it interesting that the other videos that everyone thought was, the government being sort of open, might have been a clerical error or an accidental oops. And I look forward to hoping we can see the picture. I mean, that's always the be all end all, isn't it? Is being able to see the photo.
Well, that's what we would hope. That's what we would hope. We want to see the photo. We definitely want to see the photo. However, the way skeptical people are in this field, they're just going to say, "Oh, that was photoshopped," or that was something that was created by, a tarp, or, somebody just posted that up like a billboard. That's the critiques that we're going to get on that photo. However, the Navy is going crazy on this right now because they're trying to keep the photo from being released, and they know there are certain members of the public that may or may not have copies of this. I'm leaning towards the may, allegedly.
Okay, cool. So I guess we'll wait and see on that one. But there have been more UFOs in the news lately. Wasn't there? Wasn't there another story that
there was a story
that you had shared about a collision or an almost near collision?
This happened on September 1st, where a Boeing 737 from an airline in the United Kingdom was landing at one of the airports in Leeds. And as they were approaching the runway, they started seeing this weird light coming up from, it came out of nowhere, and then up from the runway, and literally missed the cockpit of the jet by about 10 feet. Literally. And it absolutely freaked the pilots out because they had a full passengers on board of, I believe, 182 people, somewhere around there. And they literally watched this thing come from the ground as they were getting ready to land. And they have no idea what this thing was. A police helicopter had reported seeing what they saw, what almost looked like lantern lights hovering above the runway as the plane was approaching to land. And now this thing almost attacks this airliner and comes within about 10 feet, according to the pilots. Now, the pilots have gone on record saying, no, that was no lanterns. No lanterns at all. This was something different. They didn't even believe it was a drone. But the interesting part about that is the airport and airports in the surrounding areas over the last 5 years have had more than 400 reports of drones being flown near the airport and coming very close within aircraft airspace, especially around landings and takeoffs. So that's what they are trying to lean towards, but these pilots are all confused because literally this thing came within 10 feet of their cockpit and took off until it disappeared. They couldn't see it anymore, and they don't know what the heck it was, and they were absolutely flabbergasted when they got onto the ground and landed the plane successfully without any incident. But to this day, they don't know what went on.
Now, they've said that it could be a drone, but they're not sure. They're treating it literally, by definition, as an unidentified flying object. Now, this was in September originally, so why are the articles just starting to come out about it now?
Well, I mean, everybody has to do their investigation. The minute you say UFO or UAP or whatever acronym any other government is using, it really ties into a lot of security. They don't want the UFO story out there. They're not ready for it. They don't know if it is a UFO. Is it a UFO from Russia, China, North Korea? Any adversary against the allied countries? In this case, they want the military to investigate it. They want their secret services to investigate it. They want other departments to investigate it before it actually comes out. And that includes multiple interviews with the pilots and the crew on board who actually saw this craft. They would go over radar tape. They would go over the police report because the police helicopter and the pilot and co-pilot saw this so-called lanterns, 2 lanterns hovering above the runway. They want to do a full report to make sure that anything happened and what happened. Now, with this one, they can write it off as a drone or something, like Chinese lanterns or something along those lines, because that's the way the police described it. They're not going to call it a UFO. It's the pilots of the aircraft who had were just outside an arm's reach of this thing that are saying, yeah, that didn't look like anything that we've seen before. And let's face it, pilots know. I mean, we always try to question whether or not the pilots know. You know what? They have been flying a lot of years. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of skill, a lot of smarts, and a lot of craziness to be a pilot. It really does, especially if you're a military pilot. But for, these people, the one thing they do have is a trained eye. They're looking for birds. They're looking for anything anomalous because there's a lot of responsibility taking, a 50-ton aircraft filled with people who are relying on that professionalism in order to get them up in the air safe and back on the ground safe. So when something anomalous happens, these guys know that it's something different and it's something that shouldn't be there. And they're pretty keen on what they are seeing. So the pilots are the ones really to believe.
Well, that news story is in the news. You can see it. It is out there. It's on the news in Australia. It's in the news in the UK, partly because there was a confirmed drone near miss a little while before that. But all those articles do say what you're saying, which includes there are conflicting reports as to what it was, investigations, and it's a fantastic story. Dave Scott, thank you so much for being with us again on the show. UFO stuff in the planes is, kind of lands in my geekdom, so I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. It's great to hear your voice, Dave.
Anytime, and make sure you check out that story on December 2nd.
Will do. We'll look forward to seeing it. We're going to get that picture on that story.
Take
care.
All right,
we'll talk to you soon again. Dave Scott.
And here we go with the news. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR News Wire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the Canadian Prime Minister being pranked. Yes, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has joined a growing list of public figures targeted by pranksters posing as climate activist Greta Thunberg. Audio of Mr. Trudeau speaking to an accomplice of pranksters Vladimir Kuznetsov and Alexei Stolyarov in January has been released by the pair. The Prime Minister apparently fielded questions from the fake Ms. Thunberg on NATO, world peace, and Donald Trump. This is not the first prank call of a world leader, his office said. The Prime Minister determined the call was fake and promptly ended it, Mr. Trudeau's office said. I doubt it. I doubt it with this guy, by the way. Hello, Greta, the recording begins. I understand that you have a lot of work and not so much time to talk to a young girl, but I am very concerned about the growing international crisis, the impersonator responds. Days before the recording, Ukraine International Airlines flight PS-752 had been shot down after taking off from the Iranian capital of Tehran amid escalating tensions between Iran and the U.S. All the passengers and crew were killed, including 57 Canadians. Mr. Trudeau told the fake Ms. Thunberg that he had received many, many phone calls on the subject, talking about de-escalation on all sides. The fake Thunberg, fake Greta, basically said, told Mr. Trudeau that he and other world leaders are adults, but you act like children. Leave NATO, drop your weapons, pick up flowers, smile at nature, she said. Taking the increasingly strange comments in stride, Mr. Trudeau applauded the fake Greta for her perspective and passionate words. Asked about U.S. President Donald Trump, whom she described with an expletive, Mr. Trudeau replied that it's his responsibility to work with world leaders that other people choose. He goes, I can certainly understand that people could feel very, very strongly about him. Mr. Kuznetsov and Mr. Stolyarov have previously targeted Elton John, Prince Harry, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. That's funny, actually. Real funny. Yeah. The Trail RCMP here in British Columbia have responded to a bizarre call. Around 12:40 p.m. this past Friday, a local woman in her 30s called police to report that a casual acquaintance of hers, a 28-year-old man, had asked her to marry him. He also propositioned her for intimate relations, which led to her feeling uncomfortable and contacting the authorities. An officer investigated the complaint and discovered that the men had allegedly asked several other people, both men and women, to marry him that day as well. Police located the man, told him that he needs to stop asking random people to marry him, because that's how it's done here in Canada. The Trail RCMP is asking for further information on who has had similar interaction with this man and to contact them. And, do we go with one more? No. Let's get to the thought of the day. Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. How do you heal your mind, body, and soul from everyday life? J.A., when you find out, let us know, please. The knot at the end of my rope is starting to fray. Scott, hot, heavily buttered popcorn does it for me every time. Gail, I embrace those that I love with what I can. They all live far away, and we all hate talking on the phone, so it's messenger and texting. Goodness, I hate texting. Kevin and Kevin's beard, two different entities. Got in the White Sulphur Springs Spa in Montana the other day. Wow, didn't realize that I needed healing. Joyce, breaking the habit of listening and chanting to lyrics with music set at 420 hertz was my first step. Rose, I reach out, get love and support from friends. I hid it for so long it nearly took my life. Nikki, music, usually binaural beats, a massager used on the shoulders and back, and a TENS unit, reading a great book, creating something with my hands. Anna, Shaka Khan, or whatever that song is playing right now. Kara, I do whatever it takes to get me out of my head, because when you're thinking, you're stinking. Donna, meditation, Reiki, and Jack Daniels helps. For Lisa, prayer is the key. Davey, yoga, meditation, and being in nature. Meditation and prayer for Science Bob. Wine and a hot bath for Allison. And Gabe has the final word. Taco Bell is the answer. Thank you to Captain Shirk for the news, everybody in the thought of the day, and to Case Parks for being our guest tonight. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club, and our website, and all the snarkers hanging out at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends,
we're watching.
We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But don't worry, my friends, tomorrow we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, yeah, we got room for them too. Good night. That's good radio, people. Solidly good radio. Good listenership, good radio. Good stuff right there. Bet you didn't know that UFO stuff. That was fresh woo for you guys. Fresh woo. Not dirty woo. Fresh woo. That's how we roll. Take care of each other, man. It's going to be a big story. Going to be a very big story. Wait for Tim's story to come out. Serious. Where am I here? Let's download this. All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to download this episode. I'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. All right, let's do this thing, shall we? Excuse me. All right. Here. And that up. All right. Almost there. Almost there. How are you guys? There you are. Now I can read your comments. Good night, Teresa. We love you. Jack, I don't talk NBA because I'm still pissed off at the Grizzlies and the way the NBA screwed over Vancouver. Why I hate the NBA. The NBA in Vancouver made me a fan, and the NBA, when they screwed Vancouver, absolutely made me hate the sport. Well, I shouldn't say the sport, but the NBA. Can't stand it. Really can't stand it. And in my year, I only covered a couple of Grizzlies games and practices because I was still pretty new in sports radio back then. And I can tell you that NBA players were the absolute worst to deal with out of all athletes that I ever dealt with. And I if I never had, in my sport, thank goodness I never had to cover another game. That's the reality of it. Thank goodness I never had to cover another game because it was terrible. I mean, but sitting courtside, like the press seats, like you're right on the court, it was phenomenal. That part was cool. Really cool. But as far as covering the league, the players are not nice people. Not nice and highly entitled people. Eric Cooper. Eric Cooper, how you doing, buddy? How's the beard? Give us a beard update if you don't mind. Love me some Eric Cooper. My buddy from Forest Moon Paranormal. If you don't know who Eric Cooper is, one of the best paranormal people out there, man. All right, where is the ending here? That's it. Nice. Good to see you, buddy. How you been? Miss you. Yeah, we got to get Coop some Mighty Moose beard oil. Oh, shoot, which reminds me. Yeah, man. Come in more often, Coop. We need more Cooper time around here. Totally need more Eric Cooper time. You never go wrong with a little Coop time. That's for sure. Oh, you're a busy guy, Coop. I know that. Kind of excited to see you here, Coop. Oh, no, wrong one. Eric Cooper's channel's called S4. It's on Spreaker. Who is the grouchy? Who's the grouchy old guy you had several months ago? Grouchy old guy talking about Skinwalker? That Butch Witkowski? He's always grouchy. Cooper's show always has good stuff on there. Always has good stuff. He does a good job. He's one of the only shows that I actually recommend because I kind of like him. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. Come on, you silly goose. All right, everyone. Time to get your verification codes ready. It is that time of the night once again where we must verify what we do on a nightly basis. Remember, it's a six-digit code. We'll be bringing it up here momentarily. Let's go here. And let's go there. Let's transfer that. And your verification code for tonight is 581236. 581236. Make sure you verify wisely, because we want to make sure that everything is verified. I did hear that, Coop. I totally did hear that. Can you see it? Can you see us, Dave? No, can't see you. Well, make sure you add me, Coop, because I need some Coop time. Well, let's see. Who else? All right, hold on 1 second here. And let's get this loaded up here. Let's go over here. that off. Bring this over here to the old Dropbox. It's loading now. Now I can see properly. And let's see. Who else? Very disappointed, America, that due to COVID, we're not going to be brawling in the malls. I'm losing faith very quickly. Very quickly. I look forward to Black Friday every year. The fighting, the disgust, the tragedy, the blood, the punching, the kicking, everything. All for nothing. Thank you, COVID. It's the only real thing outside of my potential travels to Las Vegas that COVID has ruined for me. You know, and it was supposed to be such a good year. The presidential election combined with Black Friday, terrible. Absolutely disgraceful. I was very much looking forward to it. And now people are going to be doing this online crap. How do you brawl online? You can't. You cannot brawl online. Can't brawl online. It's disgusting. It's terrible. Where's the humanity in this? Where is the humanity? You know, thought you people cared. I know, Bomber. I know. I feel it for you. I'm hurting too. I'm hurting too. It's disappointing. Emotional. What are we Canadians supposed to do here when we absolutely love and adore watching our American brothers and sisters beat the shit out of each other after a high quality Thanksgiving where we give thanks for everything? And now I have to put up with this? You know, last year's videos were highly disappointing. Highly disappointing. And now there's this. COVID. This is very disappointing, America. Very disappointing. Don't get it. We need brawling. I want scratching, kicking, biting, suplexes off the tower of televisions that are stacked on top of one another on a pallet. This is what I want. This is what I love. Where is the justice here? I want to see people, adults, ripping toys out of the hands of kids. You know, I want to see seniors pushed over by young thugs who don't know any better because there is a $4 savings on iPhones. I need this. The world needs this. We need to be able to see this with our own very eyes. And thanks to COVID and a lot of paranoia, it's all being taken away for naught. Highly disturbing. Highly disturbing. Disappointing. Hurts. Hurts big time. I don't know what we're going to do about this. I really don't know. I mean, I almost feel like Gil being turned down by Zion Zeta for a date. That's how I feel right now. Just kicked right in the stomach. Princess Denali, I would never do such a thing. Tomorrow night's guest, we have Carter Buschart, Bigfoot researcher. I think he's out of the Carolinas or someplace like that. Could be a good show. He's pretty pumped up about coming on. Bonjour, Jean-Paul. Salut. Thursday night, we're talking paranormal. Actually, we're going to get serious into the paranormal. That'll be Alex Masuo. And then Friday, we are doing the round table. The new UFO picture, Aaron, was, I think it was taken in the Pacific somewhere. I don't know where. I may hold Black Friday at my house and go steal buy up all the toilet paper. That's what I may do. than sell it in my front yard watching people roll away. Somehow it just doesn't feel right. My American dream will not die. I still believe in Old Glory herself that you guys will come through on Black Friday. What winner? I'm seriously going through withdrawal and it hasn't even happened yet. Any hoodles, it's that time of the night where I got to say goodnight to all of you. Hi, D. Ocean Swagger. How are you? I do have to say goodnight for the night, and I got to get to bed. I got to get up with my little guy and get him ready for school in the morning. It's one of them little processes that I absolutely love doing. So I'm going to call it the night here, everyone. But thank you so much for tuning us in. Thank you to Cat Chaser for the super chat. Thank you for all the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you gave us. We appreciate it. And remember, Friday's a brawl day, people. If you're in the United States, I expect you guys to get ready to start doing some brawling for me. And remember, tilt your phones vertically, not horizontally, not vertically, please. If you do go, all right, because I got to see some of this. All right, I do. I look forward to it every year, and I'm scared this year. Very scared. But much love to all of you. Tomorrow night, we're talking Bigfoot. Carter Bouchard. Going to be a great show. And we'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the support. You guys are awesome and amazing. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.